All right, back to our churches, A and B. I think by now we know this is not what we want to be. We want to work toward being this kind of church. What we really need is reformation. Reformation. Ellen White talks about revival and reformation. Get this last one, habits. Last time we outlined 10 habits that go into a church that is truly mission driven. And so what are those habits? The first one had to do with taking inventory, habit number 1. The second one has to do with committing to mission driven excellence. Once you see where you are, then you say, "Oh Lord, help us do a revival in our midst, and may it happen." And you know what the first step is to that? Spiritual revival. Pentecost. You know what happened before Pentecost? Even at the time that Christ was being crucified, the disciples were arguing about the greatest. And yet 50 days later, at Pentecost, they came together on one accord, the Holy Spirit was poured out, and dissension and ego vanished. Folks, we're going to have to commit to this kind of revolution in our churches. Number 2, after experiencing that revival, we've got to make sure that we avoid anything that keeps us from being mission driven. Oh, we have got to make sure that we allow for an upper room experience. If we don't have the Spirit with us, we might as well give up. We need God's Holy Spirit in this work. Something else we have to do is to watch out for mission distractors. Mission distractors are anything that gets us off message. Controversy over topics in the church, that gets us off message. Tradition gets us off message. Just coming to church and being comfortable with our own little social club, that's not the reason for church. Activity and busyness. We're so busy working like the devil, trying to serve the Lord. Doesn't work, folks. We've got to be less busy and more focused on our mission. And finally, the greatest distractor is ego. Personalities who want to vaunt themselves and become significant. Let's get rid of all those distractors and focus on mission, the reason why we're here. Now, there's one more thing that really makes a challenge to churches who are trying to go from A to B, and that is something called the whirlwind. Now, the whirlwind are all the day-to-day emergencies that suck the life out of a church trying to be mission-driven excellent. I mean, emergencies that crop up. I mean, stuff, busyness that we talked about earlier. Don't let it happen to your church. Take time out to do this strategy kind of thing that we're talking about. Asking yourself, what kind of church do we want to be? And not being satisfied until you get there. Another part of committing to this excellence is a tangible and public commitment. That means preparing and adhering to a 6-month rollout that says we are going to do this. We're going to do specific things over the next 6 months that will take us on the journey to Church B. We won't finish that journey, but we will certainly launch it. In the parable of the sower, some seed fell on the path. It sprang up, but the cares of this life crowded it out. We want you and your church and all of our churches to be good soil, so that when we know what we should do, let's not rest satisfied until we actually do it. May God help you as you commit to mission-driven excellence.